Hello everyone. So today's talk is going to be a bit different. I have a topic I want to talk about because I can't stop thinking about it. It's just on repeat in my head. Like I said, the topic is on repeat in my head. And I just keep thinking, waking up in 2026, how did we get here? Like, I don't even feel like I need to explain, but how are we in this state of constant trauma as in the United States? And that's where I'm referring to. And like, I keep playing back being a kid and being told something so different. I mean, I've always gone to school in very diverse schools. So for me, like, diversity is beautiful. It's necessary. It is what I always felt the fabric of this country was made of. And I remember back in 2005 at my high school graduation, I actually got to speak because I was the class president. And in my speech, I based it around diversity and how being in this diverse campus and school, dealing with different cultures and people, how that was our strength, not our weakness. And if anyone would have told me in 2005 where we would be in 2026, I would have never believed them. Never, ever, ever. And then I keep thinking so much back in 2016 when Barack Obama was still our president, and I was working at this call center. It was like a very interesting job. It was a call center that raised money for different organizations. So basically we were calling fundraising, and we were calling people who had previously donated to these organizations. So they were cold calls of sorts, but not so cold, because like these people had already given to these causes. And our biggest donor, which back in 2016, I didn't know a lot about them, but the biggest donor that we worked for was the Heritage Foundation. And those, for me, were the worst calls, because the people, when you would get them on the line, they were so hateful, so rude. They would say things that I would never imagine saying to another human. And I guess because when you're on the phone and you're not like, kind of like a keyboard warrior, right? When you're on the phone and you're not face to face with someone, you can say whatever you want and like not feel guilty. And this was back in 2016. Obama was still president. We were going through the election, and the amount of hate and harm that was spewed over and over and over again, unbelievable. It was like very hard to listen to. And I actually, one moment. I'm sorry for the change of scenery, but as I was saying, back in 2016, Obama was president, and I was working at this very interesting job. And I actually didn't know all about the Heritage Foundation, but what I did learn is that they're very methodical and they're planners. They've been planning for a very, very, very long time. So this entire Project 2025 stuff, even back then, they were raising money to plan it. But that's besides the point. So back in 2016, when I was working there and the election was happening, I remember someone getting upset. Like, we were in some kind of meeting and they got upset and they turned to me and they said, "Go back to your own country." And like, back then I just laughed because I'm a US citizen born here. Like, this is my country. And so I'm like, where am I supposed to go back to? You know? But back then, I also knew, like, how dangerous that rhetoric was. And it was so confusing. It still is to me, in my brain, so confusing that we're a country who is made of people who immigrated here, and like, to be an American, your family came here at some point or another. Like, the only people that were here before us were Native Americans. So anyways, it's just, you know, and as kids we're taught that that your country is free, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to choose whatever you want. And I'm just sad looking around in 2026 and seeing how the rhetoric is not freedom, but the rhetoric is freedom as long as it is what I want. And that, I don't know, like, where did that come from? When did that become a thing? Like, and I don't know. I'm just sad because in 2016, not only was I working at that job, I also was doing hair. And I remember in the salon, I was telling someone how disheartened I was at the state of our country. And this person was treating me like I was being so dramatic. And it was like, when I look back at that, it's like the writing was on the walls, but nobody else saw it. And now we wake up and every day we see somebody just shot in the streets. We see somebody getting choked out by enforcement that is supposed to be there to protect people. We see kids being shot in schools almost daily. We see people being taken to concentration camps. Kids. Very little kids. Like, if you are a parent and you look at your kid and you think, oh, how much you love them and how perfect they are, and then you even think that there is a kid that same age in a cold, damp, dirty place without their parent, without someone looking out for them, without someone caring for them. And how can you be okay with that? Like, how is that okay? It's inhumane. It's not okay. It's none of that is okay. I just feel just really disheartened by all of this. And it doesn't have to be this way. Like, it's so trivial, and it just doesn't have to be this way. So I just woke up this morning really bothered that this is what is happening, and reflecting on my own life, like, when did this shift and where did this come from? And reflecting on the life and the legacy that I'm leaving for my children as they grow up. And it's kind of wild, you know, like, we individually can't solve all the problems, but we also can't be complacent to the problems. So I guess this is my acknowledgement of knowing that these problems exist and they're not okay, and I don't think that we're doing the right thing. It's really sad. And I hope that someone gets it together, but it appears there's no adults in the room. And if there's no adults in the room, then we have to, we are the adults. We have to take action and take care of each other, and network and look out for those in our communities close to us. But we can't be complacent, and we cannot continue to think, oh, it doesn't affect me, because it will be one of those scenarios that first it was, then it was them, then it's this next class of people, and then it's you. It affects all of us. This world we're living in, it affects all of us. And not even just domestically. Like, this affects our relationship even internationally. And it's just sad. That's all. Don't like really being a Debbie Downer, but you know, I believe that as humans, we all have rights. All humans have rights, and we should not impede on anyone else's rights. Like, no human is created differently. We're all created equal as humans, you know. You're born with nothing, you die with nothing. You can't take it with you. So I wish we would all just be a bit more human. Hopefully this resonates with you. If it does resonate, I'd love to connect. And take care of yourself. Stay safe. Talk soon.